Cornerback is arguably the ultimate position of singular accountability. You're locked in man coverage from snap to whistle, the first line of defense in the cloud of zones, and the last line in the passing game. And that's exactly what the Cowboys are staring down right now. Their cornerback room is a pendulum swing. On one hand, it could collapse into a disaster. On the other hand, if everything clicks, it has the potential to be a top 5 unit in the NFL. The Cowboys haven't traditionally excelled at cornerback, more often towards the bottom of the league in that department. But thanks to recent personnel moves under previous regime, we're officially entering a golden era of Cowboys corners. Now, it's not lack of talent that's holding the group back. It's injuries, contract issues, and self-inflicted wounds. This group is the perfect storm: star talent, ascending rookies, and guys desperate to prove they belong. And that's why Brian Schottenheimer's defensive philosophy under defensive coordinator Matt Eberflus plays right into their hands. Eberflus runs a base-heavy defense that fights to take every explosive route off the board, keep everything in front of you, and make the offense walk the long way to score. It's about forcing long drives that test the quarterback's mental stamina and culminate into turnovers. And who's at the heart of that? The cornerbacks. New cornerbacks coach Dave Overstreet, brought in from the Bears, understands this system intimately. He coached under Eberflus in Indianapolis and Chicago, and now inherits one of the most volatile yet talented cornerback rooms in the NFL. Let's talk about the pillars of the Dallas Cowboys secondary. Two players who have defined the promise and pressure of this cornerback room: Trevon Diggs and DaRon Bland. Trevon Diggs is the undisputed alpha of this cornerback unit. A former wide receiver returned to shut down corner, Diggs brings an unorthodox blend of savviness and ball skills that change the way people look at the modern day cornerback play. He doesn't just cover receivers, he attacks the ball, often playing out of phase, but with the kind of confidence only elite instincts can justify. With some of the softest hands in the NFL, Diggs has made quarterbacks pay for years. His 2021 season, where he led the NFL with 11 interceptions, was proof of a concept that a corner can flip games on sheer playmaking alone. Over just 58 games, he's totaled 20 career interceptions, a ridiculous pace that most safeties would envy. Now entering the year, Diggs is not only looking to return from a January 2025 knee surgery, but to remind everyone why he's worth a massive extension. Yet he's caught criticism last year, particularly for inconsistent run support, but that scrutiny came under the weight of a team-wide defensive breakdown. Inside the star, his leadership isn't in question. Diggs is the most vocal tone setter, the top athlete, and the schematic chess piece this secondary is built around. The Cowboys don't just need Diggs to come back, they need him to reclaim that turnover hunting form in a system designed to force the offense to take the long road. He's the player who can end the drive before it begins. DaRon Bland. Lining up opposite him is a name that becomes impossible to ignore: DaRon Bland. This former 5th rounder is prepping for a massive 2025 campaign, his contract year, and all signs point to another breakout season. After suffering a stress fracture in 2024 preseason, Bland missed the first stretch of the year but bounced back with steady production and timely plays. Still, it's his historic 2023 that echoes through the film room. 5 pick sixes, 9 interceptions, and 15 pass deflections, and a first-team All-Pro nod. Few players in recent NFL history have single-handedly impacted scoring the way Bland did. That said, Bland does have a ceiling. He's not a pure outside lockdown corner. His occasional lapses in man coverage limit his ceiling as a cornerback 1. But in zone-heavy schemes, or when aligned and inside the nickel, Bland thrives. He reads the quarterback eyes, jumps routes like a safety, and holds well up against the runs, making an ideal fit for Matt Eberflus' bend but don't break you philosophy. This season, with the free agency looming, Bland will be playing for generational money. But beyond the contract, he's playing for respect, to prove that 2023 wasn't lightning in a bottle, and that his instincts and ball production are built to last. Caelen Carson. The second-year cornerback out of Wake Forest is walking into 2025 with a chip on his shoulder and a legacy number stitched across his back. Dubbed the seatbelt in college for his physical play style and lockdown ability, Carson made headlines before ever taking a snap by choosing to wear the iconic number 21 jersey, a number immortalized by the Cowboys legend Deion Sanders. That decision alone painted a massive target on him, especially from fans who saw it was a bold, maybe even premature. His rookie season in 2024 was, in his own words, a year he loved to reset on. But despite the way things play out, it's not a lost cause. It's a season he can save. Carson opened strong. He had a strong standout training camp, made splash plays in the preseason, and locked in and looked sharp in his week 1 debut against the Browns. He showed real promise as a physical press corner who could compete at the line and tackle with aggression. But his biggest issue wasn't in coverage, it was his long speed. He struggled to stay connected with vertical routes, and cracks began to show when he faced burners. The moment unraveled in the Baltimore Ravens game when Carson got beat by Nelson Aguilar on a long touchdown. It wasn't a busted play, it was a confidence shaker. From that moment forward, he looked tentative, not just in coverage, but especially in run support and open field tackling. The mental side of the game had really caught up to him. Then came the shoulder injury, followed by missed time, and the spiral continued. Here's the reality. Carson doesn't have to be elite. He just needs to be solid. A reliable, confident cornerback 3 or even cornerback 2 when needed. If he can stabilize his tackling and hold up in zone and deep third responsibility, he raises the floor of this cornerback room dramatically. And with Trevon Diggs likely missing time early and Kaiir Elam still finding his rhythm, Carson will still have every opportunity to write a new story for himself in 2025. If there's one cornerback on this Cowboys roster who screams raw upside, it's Shavon Revel out of Eastern Carolina. From the moment you see him on film, his frame commands attention. High cut build, extremely long arms and legs, and a playstyle that equals parts of a tarantula and boa constrictor. He doesn't cover receivers, he surrounds them. He wraps them, smothers them, and his goal every rep is to be physical and spatially dominate the man across from him. Revel prides himself on contact, press coverage. He lives for it. Run support, he'll throw his body in the fire, and if he can stay in phase throughout the route stem, it's over. His arms and reach are so long that the quarterback simply can't fit the ball in. That wingspan alone is a defensive weapon. There's a reason the Cowboys are intrigued. He plays violent, aggressive football, but his show up on tape. Revel's biggest issue is his setback will be something to be critical to look at during his rookie development in 2024. So now 2025 becomes a year to rebuild. It's not just him getting back to full speed, it's about honing technique, trusting his knee again, and sharpening his mechanics that will keep him on the field long term. What can't be questioned is his toughness. Revel is one of the most physical corners on the team. He consistently attacks the ball in the air and throws his body into the run support like a linebacker. He's not afraid to strike, shed, and wrap up. If the Cowboys take their time and develop him properly, Shavon Revel could become a surprise contributor, especially in matchups against bigger bodied receivers where his frame can overwhelm. And if he puts it all together, he's got the cornerback 1 potential written all over him. One of the most intriguing players in the Cowboys cornerback room this year is Kaiir Elam, the former first-round pick out of Florida. Once a top prospect for the Buffalo Bills, Elam now arrives in Dallas with everything to prove and everything still within reach. His stint in Buffalo was marked by frustration and consistency, not due to talent, but due to a schematic mismatch. The Bills predominantly ran zone-heavy coverages, while Elam came out of college known as a press man specialist, long, physical, and combative at the line of scrimmage. It wasn't that he couldn't play, it was that he wasn't being asked to do what he does best. Now in Dallas, he's getting a fresh start, and early signs out of OTAs and minicamps are encouraging. According to the offensive coordinator Brian Schottenheimer, Elam has made dramatic improvements in speed metrics and now is clocking near the top of the DB room. That burst and fluidity, which scouts questioned during his final year in Buffalo, are starting to resurface and in a more favorable defensive setup. This is the exact moment where Elam can rewrite his narrative from first-round bust to late bloomer breakout. His pedigree, his physical upside gives the room a wild card energy. He's the reason some Cowboy fans are worried about cornerback depth, but also the reason others believe the position could quietly become a strength. What makes Elam special when he's on is his hands at the line and the recovery speed, and the confidence to sit on a route and break on the ball. He's got the length to contest jump balls and the demeanor to take wide receiver ones. And in a Matt Eberflus defense that values tight man technique in critical moments, Elam has the chance to thrive if he stays focused and consistent. The Cowboys aren't asking him to be a star right away, but if Trevon Diggs isn't ready to start the season, Elam might have to step up as the secondary boundary corner opposite of DaRon Bland. That's no small assignment, but it's exactly the kind of opportunity Elam has needed since draft night. 2025 could be the year Kaiir Elam salvages his career, fulfills his draft promise, and becomes a major contributor in a defense desperate for stability at corner. Mukuamu has quietly become one of the most versatile, perhaps most overlooked pieces in the Cowboys secondary. Standing at 6'4" with the wingspan of a linebacker and movement skills of a corner, Mukuamu is the definition of a hybrid DB. He's played both safety and corners at various points of the Cowboys' tenure and has shown flashes in each role. His most memorable performance came in the 2022 playoffs win against Tom Brady's Buccaneers, a game that marked the end of Brady's career. Mukuamu was everywhere in coverage, in the box, breaking up passes, and bringing energy that helped stifle the GOAT in his final outing. That game alone made fans wonder, why hasn't he been given a larger role since? Whether it's due to scheme fit, injury setbacks, or coaching oversight, Mukuamu has struggled to carve out consistent snaps. But with new coaching regime now in place, the door is open again. His ability to play nickel, big slot, or rotate as safety makes him a true Swiss Army knife in a secondary that values versatility and physicality. If he can stay healthy and build momentum through camp, Mukuamu could finally become a core contributor, especially in a sub package that demands size, range, and smarts. He's not just a depth piece, he's a potential matchup weapon if deployed correctly. Outside of Mukuamu, the Cowboys have a group of veteran depth corners and prove-it players who will round out the bottom half of the cornerback room. Josh Butler is still recovering from a late season ACL tear, but showed promise before the injury and has viewed as a long-term stash candidate with upside. Andrew Booth, the former Vikings draft pick, brings explosiveness and physical traits, but his career so far has been hampered by injuries and inconsistent tape. Kemon Hall, meanwhile, has carved out a niche as a hard-nosed special teams contributor, earning his keep through sheer effort, grit, physicality. While none of these names jump off the screen, they represent competitive depth that will be crucial during the grind of a 17-game season, especially given the injury history at the top of the depth chart. To wrap this up, this cornerback room is a true potluck of potential. You've got stars, vets, rising young talent, and hungry underdogs all battling for their spot. It's kind of a unique blend of pedigree, grit, and projection. And because of that, this group sits at the extreme end of the spectrum. This season, it could either be a glaring weakness or evolve to one of the most well-rounded, resilient secondaries in the league. With Matt Eberflus' vision on defense, with a new coaching voice in the DB room, and with each player carrying out its own individual storylines, this group could be crucial in executing the back-end philosophy. Keep everything in front and make the offense earn it. Play patient and force turnovers when it matters most. So the question is, can this quarterback unit be the answer? Can they rise above the injuries, the inconsistencies, and the doubts? Cowboy Nation, that's been my time. If you enjoyed the breakdown, make sure to like and share the video. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Subscribe for more professional overviews and deep dives in the training camp. Until next time. Peace.